Good morning and welcome to the MAC weather page for this Thursday, December 27th, and any kind of resemblance to this type of day is going to fall by the wayside as we expect a pretty nasty rainy day coming up today. I think many areas will pick up between a third of an inch across southeast lower Michigan, and then as you get over towards the western areas, maybe up to 3/4 of an inch of rain. And then we'll see some cold air filter in behind this system, and that'll switch us over to some snow showers tomorrow. Right now, only minor accumulations around here are expected, but boy, this storm's going to deliver a lot of heavy snow from the northern corn belts into the upper Midwest, even into western portions of the UP, where many areas could see a foot of snow out of this storm. If we're going to see snow, it looks like we're still a little ways off. We got a clipper system we're also going to be watching for early next week around New Year's Eve, and especially for New Year's Day, and that should deliver some of the coldest air of the season. But again, right now, too many questions as to how much snow, if snow at all, on this system. But certainly does look like a pretty good clipper system coming up for early next week. Our normal high is 30. The normal low is 16 degrees. We've been no place close to those kind of lows, and that's why we're running about 3.3 degrees per day above normal. So a very warm December. We'll end the month on a warm note as far as the overall average, but certainly our temperatures are heading downward as we go through time, especially after we get past tonight into tomorrow. Our high yesterday, this should have been the day after Christmas, sorry about that. Yesterday's high was 34 degrees. We had a low of 30. 2/100 of an inch of precipitation yesterday. About a tenth of that was in snow. So we've just been getting nickeled and dimed with just little trace amounts of snow. 1.3 inches of snow so far for the month, just over a foot so far for the season. And again, pretty warm as far as the month of December. Our sunrise this morning at 8:10. It'll set tonight at 5:08. And if we look at conditions around the area this morning, you can see temperatures pretty uniform with all the cloud cover, mainly in the low 30s. The warm spot 35 at Jasper. You can see Blissfield Station now up and running again. They got the remodeling project done. You can see 34 degrees there. The cool spot 30.1 over at Marlette. And if we look at the barometers, one thing you'll notice, they are quite high, but you'll look at every one of these locations and you can see the barometer is falling rapidly, indicating that with those east winds, that storm moving in from the west. And again, we'll see rain develop here later this morning, lasting through much of the day and the evening. It'll lighten up as we kind of get some of the dry slot as that comes through the area later on. But again, out ahead of that, some pretty good showers. It'll be a nasty day out there for sure. And also some of the winds a little bit on the gusty side. And you can see on radar this morning that slug of precipitation moving in. And again, once it gets up a little farther north, that's about where the line's going to end up ultimately. North of that line, a lot of heavy snow. Minneapolis, St. Paul, you're going to be right on the border of that, but I think you'll get plenty of snow out of this system here when all is said and done. Again, for the areas of north central lower Michigan, just mainly up in our northern reaches of our drawing area here, we could see some mixed precipitation, some freezing rain and snow up around Tustin to Luther, Harrison, up towards Roscommon and Houghton Lake. From there north, again, you could see some mix as this precipitation starts, but I think even there, temperatures will warm enough to change it to all rain here later on this morning into the early afternoon. On the weather map, you can see our system that's moved out of the southwest. We talked about that yesterday. Now moving up towards the northwestern portions of Missouri. And again, looks like it's going to head just a little bit farther south and east towards northern lower Michigan. And again, that'll spread that rain into the area. And by tomorrow, at the tip of the lower peninsula, that low pressure system will be through. The cold front coming through. And again, in that wedge, during the early morning hours between midnight and 5 a.m., we can see our high temperatures on Friday well into the upper 40s. And I think as you get down into parts of southeast lower Michigan, those temperatures could climb into the low 50s before the cold front moves through. And as far as the weather on Saturday morning, a secondary cold front pushing through the area. And again, we'll be much cooler with snow showers later Friday afternoon into very early Saturday morning. But overall, the weekend looks pretty dry. And if we look at the next slide, this is a pretty big, decent clipper system that's going to drop down towards northern Iowa, then swing to the east-northeast. And again, we're going to have to watch that system. A couple of days ago, some of the models were trying to latch onto some energy to the south and bring a pretty significant storm, a winter storm into the Great Lakes. Right now, at the moment, it looks like the clipper may be the main system. But again, that could bring us some light to moderate accumulating snows if everything were to work out just right. But it's still too early. We'll have to wait and see where the track of the storm goes. If it drops a little farther south, we could be in business for some wind-driven snow for New Year's Eve and New Year's Day especially. And if we look at the amount of precipitation here over the next 7 days, and again, the big wild card will be that Clipper system early next week. But for this system, mainly about 4/10, 3/4 across southeast lower Michigan, up to about 3/4 or 8/10 as you get back towards western lower Michigan. Again, so this will be a pretty rainy day coming up, eventually switching over to just a little bit of snow tomorrow. As far as that snowfall, you can see a huge area of around a foot or more of snow off to the northwest. Here for the Great Lakes, again, not a whole lot of snow as far as lower Michigan goes, especially for the MAC and LAC areas. If we're going to get some significant snow, it looks like it'll be next week, and then especially for the week after that, we'll have to watch a couple of more systems that could finally start to deliver the snowpack. But what this is certainly going to do is lay down that snow, so when the cold air comes through, it won't have much resistance with that cold snowpack sinking farther and farther towards us. Again, winter's getting ready to hit. Again, the coldest air I think we're going to start to see will be around the 10th of January right now, and we've talked about that for a couple of weeks now. But we're getting closer and closer to a deep winter type pattern setting up. As far as the forecast today, highs in the low 40s with all that rain. Again, maybe a little bit of mix to the north, around 4 to 7/10 or so across the area. And then temperatures will rise up into the upper 40s late tonight and early tomorrow morning. And then I think we'll see temperatures steady to slowly falling through the day, with any rain showers becoming mixed with or changing over to some snow showers. Look at the highs on Saturday, only in the upper 20s, and we'll see temperatures mainly in the low 30s. And then out ahead of that Clipper system for next week, we could see high temperatures climbing back up into the mid to upper 30s. But again, we'll have to watch a track of that. Right now, we'll call for a mixture of rain and snow, and we'll just watch later forecast models. But for sure, behind that storm for next Tuesday, Wednesday, some of the coldest air of the year will be moving into the area. Thanks for stopping by, and have yourself a great Thursday, and 73s to all.